Action.
Action. All right, this is a great start already with the sirens in the background. And
Technical difficulties.
They're coming after you, man. Where's the USB? I can't find the USB. On the slimer. Anyway, there doesn't seem to be a USB connector here, so.
You got enough juice?
What's that? I've got a bit of juice. All right, so while Gary's getting this, we'll get the video up and running. We have Facebook Live going on as well. Cheers, everybody.
Hey, Facebook peeps. Thanks for tuning in.
We've got a very special guest here today, and we want to thank her for coming, and I'm going to let her do the honors, introduce herself to the team.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Meghan Kelleher. I'm a development manager at Lemonade Day. Should I do the whole Lemonade Day spiel?
Oh, we'd love to hear it.
All right.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
please.
So Lemonade Day is a nonprofit organization that started in Houston in 2007, so 11 years ago. Now it's national. A couple years after it started, more cities wanted to adopt the program, and so it's all over the U.S., Canada, and South Africa right now. So what it is a program that teaches kids how to be entrepreneurs. Usually the kids are K through 5, and so it's really the best age to reach them in order to teach them those necessary business and financial skills that they need if they want to start businesses later. So their first micro business through the program is a lemonade stand. So that's why it's called Lemonade Day. The program is a workbook that each child works through with a mentor, and then the mentor guides them through, helps them to create a real business plan, but it's simplified for the kids so they can understand. And so it's usually 4 weeks, and at the end they have Lemonade Day, which is 1 day in each city. And usually when a child sets up his or her lemonade stand, they earn between $200 and $300 on that 1 day.
Wow.
So it's real micro business, and a child learns exactly. They learn importance of location, and they learn what a profit is. They learn how to price their cups. They learn how to find an investor. Maybe that's a parent, and so they'll get a loan from a parent to pay them back with interest. Maybe it's different in every city. So started in Houston. Now we're all over. When a city wants to start Lemonade Day in their community, they'll reach out to us, and they need to find or start a 501c3. So sometimes that's the university, sometimes that's Girls and Boys Clubs, sometimes it's the Chamber of Commerce, and they have a city champion who is really the face of the program. They're the person that can get media involved, talk to government, what have you. And then there's a city director, and they do the work. They find the kids, they find the mentors, they set everything up. They decide how the program is going to be run. So, for example, in D.C., we have Lemonade Day, and George Washington University is the license holder, and so university students can actually teach it through an elective. So they can be mentors and help the kids through the program. So it's a great organization. It's really important to reach the kids early, and that's when they're sponges. They just soak everything up.
Sure.
They're really receptive to it. They're really optimistic about their own abilities. They're not afraid to fail. So that is Lemonade Day.
Well, you got your spiel down, I have to say. So how young can kids start in this program?
Technically, it's K through 5, but we have had younger kids participate. So we've had 4-year-olds. We've had even younger kids participate with an older sibling. They can start whenever. There's really no age that's too young.
So, I had a couple of questions for you, but before I get to that, I just want to really once again introduce who we are. Once again, we're the podcast 24 Floors Up. I don't know if Gary told you that, but that's the name of our podcast, 24 Floors Up consulting podcast.
Why are we why are we called that? 24 Floors Up?
We just happen to be 24 floors up.
Right on.
Okay? So
we're looking over downtown here.
All right. So, guys, if you look up, search 24 Floors Up, you'll find us. Okay. And once again, we're really, really excited to have Meghan here as our guest. And she's going to be telling us a lot more about about Lemonade Day as we continue with the talk here today, and want to introduce a couple more people. First off, once again, we've got Patrick Weir here, representing Digital Selling Conference, the main sponsor of the podcast. And thanks for joining us, Patrick.
Hey, Brandon. Thank you, Jerry.
And Brandon. And we've got Gary Dennis here, representing Unbiased Data, another sponsor. And thanks for sponsoring the program. And myself, Jerry Moneygrowth, and with D-Man Training. And D-Man Training is another sponsor for the program. With that, yeah,
and I think we should also take a second to give a little shout out to our gracious host here, who one of the things you'll notice last week we had a little 10-year scotch.
Well, that was thanks.
We are a happy hour after all.
Yes, that's right.
And our host,
sponsored you, basically.
Yeah, our hosts here are sponsored by a local brewery, Buffalo Bio Brewery. We have two different flavors here: Sam's Daily American Cream Ale and 1836 Copper Ale.
Y'all looking for a brand ambassador? This is the guy right here.
Right, exactly.
And I think one thing we should do, we'd love to hear this sound.
Just an FYI, Megan won't be joining us in the drink. She's joining us in the happy hour, but she won't be having a beer. And neither will be Gary Dennis. But
It's coffee.
So, but hey, you guys are welcome to join us. Hey, thanks, sir. Cheers.
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 Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Salud. Empty glass.
All right. So, going back to look how I poured this. Sorry, guys. I'm a Scotch drinker. So, Megan, going back to Lemonade Day, why is it? Before we started, you were telling me how Lemonade Day got started right here in beautiful not downtown, but beautiful Houston. But how did it get to South Africa, of all places?
So that came from a relationship that our national president has. His name is Stephen Gordon. He has been with Lemonade Day for about 2 years now. And his family actually came here from South Africa when he was a kid. So he was an entrepreneur at a young age out of necessity.
Okay.
So he completely believes in the program and started with a few little businesses and then continued in entrepreneurship and is a philanthropic guy. So he also is the president of a nonprofit board, and then he switched over into nonprofits with Lemonade Day. So he is originally from South Africa, so he has connections over there and is trying to get them set up. So they haven't officially had their first Lemonade Day yet, but they're getting started.
Is it the same day all over the world or in every country, or does each country have their own Lemonade Day?
It's a good question. So because of weather, mostly we can't have it on one day, because in Houston, this year it was on May 6th. It's always the first Sunday in May. But if you think about Lemonade Day Alaska, it wouldn't go well for the kids in early May. So that's a different day. So it's a different day all around the U.S. and in Canada, but in that community, it's the same day. So you see all the kids in that city setting up their lemonade stands on that day.
Okay, very good. I'm going to take a little break from that, and Patrick, if you would just tell us a little bit about the Digital Selling Conference, just tell us a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. I don't think we ever got a chance to really talk about this right before we hopped in here, but Digital Selling Conference our end goal is to enable and educate sales and marketing professionals to come into the 21st century, 2018 here, by bridging the gap between where marketing ends and where sales are closed. So what we try to do is bring in thought leaders from around the country to talk about some of these emerging trends that are happening right now and what are going to happen in 2019 and going forward. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a one-day event, and this is going to be a continuing event going forward, where we bring in thought leaders from around the country who are going to talk on various digital selling topics, as well as some digital marketing topics, because marketing folks want to know about what the sales people are doing, and the sales people want to know about what the marketing folks are doing. And we're going to have 10 expert speakers come in and talk about various topics such as conversion, SEO, content analytics, so on and so forth. And it's going to be a destination event. It's going to be in Galveston, and it's going to be the day after Valentine's Day. Very important day, right? So
bring your
come
spouse,
down, bring your spouse, your significant other, your kids, your dog maybe. Have a little jog on the beach in the morning before.
Well,
we're going to have.
We don't know if they allow dogs, so
we'll be the only dogs there. I can tell you that.
Snoop Dogg. Now speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself. But I got to tell you though, how things. If you look at the evolution of currency, evolution of people in general, the essence of it is the entrepreneurship that. Essence of it is entrepreneurship, and things have evolved from barter to cash, currency or whatever, and to the exchange is now online. Where oftentimes they're talking about cryptocurrencies as well. And I think this is fitting to talk about this and have our first guest to be from Lemonade Day or Lemonade Stand Day. And did I say it correctly?
Lemonade Day.
Lemonade Day. Mm-hmm. Be from Lemonade Day because it sows the seeds of the basic entrepreneurship, and that's what the conference is about. I would say, right, to help us understand how selling has evolved. From your basic as a child selling lemonade or whatever, candy, whatever, but cookies. But now it's changed from that to this digital space.
Yeah, it's all about growing a business, I mean, Lemonade Day is about instilling values, and correct me if I'm wrong, instilling values at a young age and how to grow a business. And a simple concept to do that is with the lemonade stand. And it's just great that Lemonade Day has come together on such, I guess, an international scale to instill those entrepreneurial values in kids. And then the same way with the digital selling conference that's coming up, that's all about growing businesses too. And ultimately, it ties back to something deeper than growing a business. It has to do with social responsibility, corporate social responsibility. And we've all heard the phrase before, it's not personal, it's just business. Well, no, it is personal because it affects your community, it affects your families, it affects people around you, which is, while this podcast is focused on consulting and technology, we see this as our social responsibility to connect with the community and those that are giving back and helping. And which inspired us to ask Lemonade, a representative from Lemonade Day, to come to this podcast and on live stream here. By the way, Ashley, thanks for joining. Give a thumbs up.
So real quick before we go on, I'm glad you brought that up because that's the topic of the day is corporate social corporate responsibility. But I'd like you to talk a little bit about unbiased data, if you don't mind. Unbiased data is one of our sponsors. And if you talk a little bit about that, please.
Sure. So after working in the corporate world, if you will, for 13 years and seeing some of the companies I worked with were just amazing, and then all of them were amazing. But you see some things that related to client. It all ties back to serving clients and adding value to clients, and ultimately helping people. That's what it's about. And seeing the disconnect between client needs and corporate strategy inspired myself and my team to put together unbiased data. And with that, what we're doing is we're bridging the gap between what the client needs and the corporate strategy. Because if you think about it, a lot of times when people think about strategy, they think about just the fundamentals of strategy, but they forget about the social side of strategy. And that ties back to communication, company politics, company culture. For instance, if you work, if your client's not happy with your business, they may not tell you. They're going to go somewhere else. And if you ask them directly, they may not tell you either. They might tell you a little piece of it, if they're even willing to have that conversation. But let's say they are willing to have that conversation. They share it with a frontline employee, and that frontline employee's manager asks them, "Hey, what do you think about our company?" I love it. I think it's great. Do I get a raise? Am I going to get promoted? Do I get a paycheck? I mean, are they ever really going to say, "Oh, this company"? it's doing too well. Here's what y'all need to work on. Probably not. And that's where we come in as a third party. We talk to our clients. We talk to our clients' employees. Then we have data analysts that look at all that data, and we look for trends and insights and key performance indicators in that data. And we identify how those key performance indicators are affecting revenue and profit. Because if you think about it, revenue and profit is a lag indicator. It's based on what's already been done. And what's already been done are those key performance indicators. And what are those key performance? It could be client satisfaction. It could be very detailed information within that client satisfaction realm. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it ties back to people again. It's business, but it's still people. It's about humanity. And it's our responsibility to think about more than just business. It's our responsibility to think about everyone around us, outside of our company as well.
Meghan, he brings up a good point about thinking about others. How does Lemonade Day help kids see that side of it, the social responsibility of making money? Hey, if they pull in $200, I mean, that's nothing to complain about.
Right.
But how does Lemonade Day promote that?
Sure. So to be clear, the money that they make on Lemonade Day is theirs to keep. And
right.
So it's their money. They get to do whatever they want with it. But we encourage them to save some, share some, and spend some.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very
so
nice.
The spend some, I would say if a child wants to do Lemonade Day because he wants a skateboard, he should absolutely get that skateboard. That's his reward. It's hard work. Lemonade Day is really hard work.
Right.
But it needs to pay off. They need to see that. And they should share some. That is the social responsibility. Our kids have donated millions of dollars to charities around the U.S., millions. And a lot of times that's, animal welfare. That's one of the biggest ones. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, a child has maybe a parent with cancer, and so they'll donate, some of their proceeds to, MD Anderson or something similar. They really get to donate whatever they want to whatever organization they want. And that gets them thinking about helping their community.
So you're planting those seeds of being socially responsible early on then.
Exactly.
Right.
And then they understand how that makes them feel, too, to be able to donate something, because a child doesn't usually get that opportunity.
Right.
Because a child usually doesn't have anything to give. So when they make money and they can give it back to their community, it makes them feel great. It plants that seed early on, and then they're more likely to give later on. And that's what we say. We say we're building the next generation of social advocates.
Very nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, you're not just telling them to give, but you're empowering these kids to be able to do that.
Right.
Right.
I think going beyond philanthropy, you have even more social responsibility acts. You're teaching kids about entrepreneurial activities that will add to the growth of the surrounding local area and beyond. You're teaching them about a lifelong learning, thirst for learning. So, for example, what we talk about with digital selling is professionals who go out and are looking to expand their skill set. These kids one day will be able to have that, maybe in some other format. Maybe they'll be an accountant or a lawyer or what have you. But you're putting these values into them at a very early age. And I think that's fantastic. And I think going beyond just philanthropy, you're adding those aspects to a child's development.
Right.
Yeah, I think about it with my daughters. I have a 4.5-year-old daughter. I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. And the 4-year-old approaches me and she says, "Daddy, I want this." And to her, it's magic. It's just, hey, you want something, you just go pick it up. And I think helping children understand exactly what that process looks like is so beneficial, because it not only teaches them entrepreneurial skills, but it teaches them a level of respect for that particular item. It gives value to that item versus it just being, hey, you want to go out to eat? Okay, go out to eat. No, if you go out to eat, it costs money. You have to work hard to be able to do things like that.
That's a very interesting point that you put in. I just read a story about the guy on Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Mm-hmm. So apparently they go annually to go on different trips, and they often go to someplace in Europe. And what he does is when he goes there, he takes his son along with him, and they make sure that when they board the airplane, he goes he goes to the right and the son goes to the left. He goes to first class and the son sits in the back. And he said, according to the interview, his son one day asked him, Dad, why is it that you keep making me go there? He said, I don't make you go there. You're going there on your own because you don't have any money. Simple as that. Simple as that. You make your money, you're going to be able to sit up at first class. So to your point, these things cost money, and it helps us helps kids better understand that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's it. It makes me think. So my 4-year-old has a nickel collection. I just gave her. My grandmother gave that to me, and I gave it to her. But her nickels are it's just a piece of metal, And so we had some nickels in a drawer in our kitchen, and once we ran out of nickels in the drawer in the kitchen, and she couldn't put them in that little spot in the nickel book or whatever, she's crying because there's no more nickels. She thought it was like a magic drawer that nickels just appeared in. So, after talking to Meghan about Lemonade Day, I think we're going to set up a lemonade stand this weekend, and we're going to do that. And we'll make sure to track and follow when the big events coming up within Lemonade Day so we can really do it right. But just to get started, we're going to have to do something this weekend to teach them a little bit about that.
I'm going to take a break real quick for a word from our sponsor, D-Man Training. And what we provide is sales training, and our focus right now is digital sales, the transformation that's going on there. And we thought it was a great fit with the digital selling conference. And we specialize with healthcare companies, but we still can help others. So just a little blurb about there, and thanks to D-Man Training for that. Sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I was just listening. Digital selling, you got me thinking about digital selling again, especially with the conference that's coming up. By the way, the conference is in February. I know Patrick mentioned it earlier. It's the day after Valentine's Day, so you can make a weekend out of it. And it's a lot of people, as mentioned earlier, they know about digital marketing, but they don't know about digital selling. Marketing is all about finding leads, and it's needed. It's so important, especially on the digital front. But selling is all about taking that lead and converting it to an actual sale, an order. So digital selling is about using digital technologies that allow you to do that. So you think about CRM systems, you think about the different social media platforms, email, everything that's digital. And so Demand Training, they're a consulting company that focuses just on that, and actually they're a sponsor for the digital selling conference along with Unbiased Data. And so for instance, what we're doing right now, if you were selling drinking, apart from drinking, if you were selling a product, you could set up a podcast and do something similar to this.
Right.
So such a big deal. So
hey Jared, thanks for joining.
We're still working on followers over here.
Right. Well,
come on, guys.
So Meghan, he brought up a good point over here about the whole conversion system. Of course, Lemonade Day is about the kids, and you're not looking at all these ultra complex digital platforms for the kids to build up a lemonade stand. However, these basic concepts of marketing and conversion, are those concepts taught to the kids for Lemonade Day?
We do teach them a lot about branding.
Okay.
So that's a big part of it.
All right.
And then
I just wrote an article, actually, it just recently got published about branding. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
one of our lessons is all about brand your stand.
okay.
So they brand it, they put it on a digital map that we have, and then they can.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's on our website. When you go on our website, you can say, find your city, and then it lists all the cities. You can click on your city, and then you see where all the lemonade stands
That
are.
is so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And then some kids take it a step further with the marketing. Their parents help them set up a Facebook page
No
for
way.
their business.
Wow.
So we have one little girl, her name is Joy, and she has done Lemonade Day Houston for at least 2 years. And this past year, this might have been her second year winning this contest. She won the Houston Best Tasting Contest.
Oh, wow.
So it was a bunch of kids in a park. They brought their lemonade. There were several judges, and she won. And she has a Facebook page, and it's called A Cup of Joy. Her first name is Joy, and that's her business name. So her
Very
parents
nice.
set up a Facebook
Very
page.
clever.
And so through that, a lot of kids can post on Facebook and say, "This is my stand location this year. Be sure to find me on whatever date."
Talk about branding. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So we do teach those, and a lot of kids kind of take it a step further as well.
Of course. That's fantastic to hear. I mean, these basics of entrepreneurship being, the seeds are planted, and one of the overarching focuses in a digital selling conference, it is about digital selling, but one of the overarching focuses that we are looking at, is digital transformation. How do people change from your traditional methods of doing things to the digital platform? It's very obvious that you guys are doing that, so that's very amazing to hear that. So very happy to hear that.
Yeah. I'm impressed too, because you think about it. You think about a lemonade stand. You think about the traditional lemonade stand where you're standing out there and
Snoopy and Lucy.
Yeah. I think about me as a kid. I never could have put together a digital campaign for probably not even a regular lemonade stand.
Right.
And so it's amazing. I don't know why I'm filming Jerry while I'm talking to him. Jerry, how do you talk like that without moving your lips?
I used to watch a lot of Kung Fu flicks.
Very good. You're good at that.
This is sales ninja.
That's trademarked as well. Patrick has a trademark.
One tip away. One limit.
Right. What was last week?
Lovin
was selling in Galveston, the conference. Anyways, I won't get back on the conference. But yeah, so what made me think about Lemonade Day, and initially, so I'm writing a book right now. As I mentioned, I have two daughters. The title of the book's Entrepreneurial Daughters. I think we're all well aware about the importance of having women-owned businesses, especially at this day and age. And so I'm helping my daughters grow and understand the importance of having that entrepreneurial spirit. And when I heard about Lemonade Day, it was inspiring to me that there's an organization that's doing that. And when I heard that, that's why I wanted to talk with Meghan and see if she'd be interested in coming today on the podcast and visiting with us. And so Lemonade Day is a very exciting organization.
I've got to add one thing here. So my friend joined on Instagram, Jared, goes by Florida Scotch Lover. Okay, so how I got into social media, period, was because of the love of Scotch. Let's see who else. And Scotch Votary, hey, what's up? And so it was my love of whiskey, and that's how I got into, and it started out with Twitter and started branching out. I joined Instagram very, very late. But I had interviewed the ambassador for Lafroy whiskey a couple years ago. And what was interesting, you were talking about women in business. What was very interesting is the fact that somehow the whiskey industry became very focused on men, very, very male-oriented. Mm. But the ambassador, what he was telling me was traditionally this was actually women were the ones who actually had the expertise in whiskey. And I asked why. He said, you think about it. So Scotch was all about being anti-British. It was every Scotsman's right to have an illegal still, because it was a way to show the British that I don't care and I'm not paying taxes and that sort of thing. And the stills were maintained and run by the women because it was, they had to keep, fire burning, and they could pretend that they were cooking, and they were the ones who did this. But little by little, it moved away into man's realm, and you had men being tasters and things like that. But if you look now, more and more women are once again being because
ambassadors.
Not just ambassadors, but these are the ones that are actually blending, mixing, creating the whiskeys that are out there, whether it's Scotch or whether it's anywhere else in the world. They have a stronger acuity in terms of taste and smell than men. That's just biology. And so it kind of makes more sense also for them to be in that business. But when you said your daughter's being in lemonade,
made you think of whiskey?
Yes. Sorry, anything makes me think of whiskey. Sorry.
Next week.
Actually, thanks for joining. Any questions?
I'll be back on Twitter soon.
Yes. Instagram, Facebook. We got several.
Got about another 90 seconds left.
What I'd like to say, guys, is put your comments.
Okay, now announcement. I mentioned on Facebook, big announcement. So I'm putting on a boot camp. It's a day-long boot camp. It's on August 24th in the Woodlands. It's at the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce. We're going to cover MBA content. As you know, I got my MBA from University of Houston.
Yeah, show off.
But not everybody has the time.
And he's talking about it.
Yeah.
I got a point to this.
You don't see me talking about mine.
Not everybody has the time and resources to invest in an MBA. Me personally, with 2 daughters and a family that you're taking care of, it's difficult to find the time to pursue an MBA. Now, with that being said, August 24th is a full-day event with trending technologies. We're doing business analytics, business finance, digital transformation, a whole list of
opportunity identification.
Yeah, digital selling, digital marketing. Okay, here's the point. The point is not to say that, great, there's a boot camp coming up, or MBA. We call it MBA in a day, right? And that's great. If you want to go to that, please attend. But 10% of the proceeds for that boot camp, and it's going to be a monthly boot camp, but 10% of the proceeds in August are going to Lemonade Day.
All right. Round of applause for that. I think it's a great cause. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
We all test that.
I'm going to be putting this boot camp on one day a month, and every month it's going to go to a different charity.
I think Lemonade Day is a worthy cause to donate because it's well aligned with what we're doing, along with the corporate social responsibility. I really like that aspect of it.
Absolutely, and it touched my heart. If you have kids,
your heart gets touched easily. But
Jerry touches my heart all the time. And
okay, let's stop there.
Podcast is
okay. Well, my point is, if you have kids, you understand the importance of instilling those entrepreneurial values. And please check out Lemonade Day. Get your kids involved with it. You're going to be. It's going to be worthwhile. And so, thank you, Megan, for being a part of our podcast today.
Can you share us where we might find more information about it? What particular social channels that you can find information about it on?
Yeah. So our website.
Opportunities to help or something along those lines?
Of course. Our website is lemonadeday.org. And when you go on there, if you have a Lemonade Day in your city, you just click Find Your City. You can find it there. There are opportunities to donate on those specific city websites. Otherwise, there's a donate button for national. I'm with national personally, so donating to national will help us continue to spread to new cities. Donating to the cities themselves will help Lemonade Day in those specific cities. We also have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram. We're in the 21st century.
Snapchat. And we're talking about corporate social.
I don't think Snapchat.
Well, maybe the case of the Lemonade stand on.
Patrick's on Snapchat. Just look for his bunny ears. Ryan knows he's on there. He's the representative.
But just to cap off what we're talking about with corporate social responsibility today, can you kind of give us an idea about when people donate money to Lemonade Day, where their donations might be able to go to?
Sure. So, again, donating to national helps us to continue to spread. We're also, speaking of the digital age, we're creating a mentor app now because we're spreading a ton. And so we want to be able to support the mentors. And so there's a whole mentor app now. We piloted it this year. It's going wide next year. And that is just...
I saw that.
Did you?
Yes, I did see it. Okay. Yes, cool. In the App Store. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So there's a Lemonade Day mentor app. So mentors can communicate with other mentors. They can make sure that they're on track in the lessons with their assigned child. So that's where the donations would go for national. For the individual cities, those cities, whenever they start Lemonade Day, they need to find or start a 501c3 so that they can collect those donations. So that's where the Chamber of Commerce or the university comes in. And then those donations are used so that the program is free to the children. So the children might find an investor in order to buy their ingredients, but the actual program, the workbook, the drawstring backpack they get, everything comes with just registration. So the city covers that cost. And so donating to the city would allow them to bring the program to kids. There are also mentorship opportunities. Again, that's just Find Your City. And Find Your City, you click sign up as a mentor. So anybody can sign up to do that. That can be a parent mentoring his or her own child. That can be just anybody in the community wanting to get involved. Depending on the city, they'll teach kids maybe in a classroom or in an after-school program, or it's different in every city, but there are always ways to get involved.
Right. Well, there's a lot you can do. So go to lemonadeday.org and learn more.
There you go. Thanks for joining.
I think
Yeah.
talk about the full time on this podcast.
24 Floors Up Consulting. Next Friday, 4:30. Join us again. We'll have another guest in. Talk about something related to consulting, technology, and of course, social responsibility is always important to us.
Digital selling, digital transformation, all these topics are some things to look forward to. And of course, we want to thank you, all of our visitors here. And again, as Jerry said, please provide us suggestions or topics you'd like to hear about. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you very much for tuning in.
Thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. You still out there?
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. All right. You'll have a great weekend.
Cheers.
Be safe.